This was me in my 20s traveling in the world. Back then, I remember thinking that my life was full of adventure, full of excitement, and a bunch of new friends to be made. And I told myself that I would do whatever it took to be rich so that I can afford whatever I wanted, do whatever I wanted, and explore wherever I wanted. But ultimately, at 35 years old, that never happened. As a software engineer working 9 to 5, I started as a junior level engineer all the way to a senior level engineer. And as the paychecks got bigger and bigger, I often found myself being stuck or moving further and further away from my goal. And ultimately, I just ended up losing my job not once, but twice. But all of that starting today is going to change because moving forward, I am determined to become a millionaire despite the fact that I'm unemployed at the moment. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 lessons that I've learned that I'm going to incorporate into my life so that I can reach the goal of $1 million and reaching the dream that I've always had in my 20s. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing with any kind of change is that you have to change what's on the inside and changing your perspective. So more specifically, what I want to change is the mindset of being a 9 to 5 employee to the perspective of money making and being a business owner or investing. And within that context, I want to choose things that don't trade my time for money. And alongside with that, I want to create a sense of urgency because I think in the past I've had kind of a lackadaisical attitude towards making money. And I think having that kind of attitude just in general doesn't work for any kind of goal setting and achieving. So with the idea of stop chasing jobs with higher paychecks, I want to pursue more money-making endeavors that initially require a big time investment, but over the years, I can pull back the throttle on it, like this YouTube channel, for instance. But changing that mindset is not going to be enough. And so therefore, what I need to do alongside with that, which is the second reason, is I need to change my community. So the key, I think, to success, and you hear it all the time, is that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. And for me, I only hung out with mostly software engineers. You know, my coworkers and I would eat lunch and we would discuss programming languages, architecture, schema design, new frameworks, etc., etc. And all that was great in order to become a better software engineer. But I can say that none of that was effective at all in any way of making more money, aside from moving up in position. So what I need to do is I just need to make a shift in the type of people that I associate with. So I want to be able to find like-minded individuals that are into business, investing, and hold themselves accountable. Because alongside with the average of 5 people you hang out with, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you get a group of like-minded people. And that's what I need to do. So therefore, with my perspective change and environment change, now it's going to come down to the nitty-gritty of financially educating myself. Education is always important for anything you want to do. And for me, what's most important now is I need to stop pouring time into engineering and focus more on everything under the sun that's related to finance, business, and investing. That includes taxes, tax strategies, business structure, business strategies, stocks, real estate, personal finance, budgeting, etc., etc. Education is going to be an important part of my process in reaching $1 million. I need to know what I know and limit what I don't know, so that way I can choose the best types of avenues for me to reach that huge goal of $1 million. But no amount of education is going to help me at all if I don't address these following personal items. So one is discipline, focus, playing to my strengths, and addressing my weaknesses. I mean, back when I was a software engineer not too long ago, you can consider me as a generalist. I was a web developer, and I was basically a generalist. I didn't really know any particular language or framework or database very well. I just knew how to cobble these things together. And what I've noticed during my life is that the most successful people are the ones that really pick one or two things, preferably one, and really focus on that niche, and they focus on the things that give the most return on investment. So an example of this would be, this YouTube channel that I'm making, or maybe some kind of business that caters to one specific market segment, or maybe just focusing exclusively on real estate, etc., etc. The point is, I really need to stop being a generalist and focus on one thing. And what comes hand in hand with that is discipline. Finally, with that mindset, is at this point in my life, I really do need to play to my strengths and really double down on those strengths, which I think for me is more something kind of like this YouTube related endeavor. I think I'm pretty decent at getting people together, getting people excited about things. I'm very idea driven, and I need to find a way to leverage that with my existing tech skills into something. I'm not sure what, but I know that's what I'll need to do. And then finally, the most important thing in this is addressing my weaknesses. It took me a very long time to be open to the idea of leveraging other people's expertise with my weaknesses. In the past, I would do everything myself. I would just put the effort, I'd put the time, and I would just do it all myself. And most of the time it worked pretty well, but I knew in the back of my head, and I knew against better judgment, that if I could just dish out the money, I could save so much time on really doing the things that I'm good at and just filling in the gaps with other people's expertise. And I think that's the way moving forward. And then, therefore, with all those skills and the mindset and all the weaknesses and strengths, I'll just need to go to reality and live in hyper reality, which, despite being unemployed, I can't maintain this forever. I mean, that's a given obvious. And so I'll have to get some contract work, do freelancing, maybe be a bartender. Really just, I need to have some kind of income. And along with that, that comes with controlling my expenses, living below my means, and then just having that idea of delayed gratification. And it's gonna be a journey. Those are the 5 things that I've pretty much kind of owned in on. And like I said, it's gonna be a journey, but oddly enough, this isn't going to make sense, but me being unemployed and not having a job has, oddly enough, made me feel more closer to having $1 million and actually, working the 9 to 5 as a software engineer. I know it makes absolutely no sense, but I just kind of feel that. And I know that if I stick to these 5 principles, lessons, etc., and really stick to it, I'm going to come out ahead. And if you're into that kind of content, and if you want to, follow me on this journey and this YouTube channel, like and subscribe. I'm excited to get started. I'm a little nervous, but I think it's going to work out. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.